And I'm going to look at a sine curve and find out which part of that sine curve will an inverse function exist. Now, for an inverse function to exist, you cannot have a turning point as part of your function. So the function is from negative a to positive a. These numbers are the same. And it's a sine curve. And what is the maximum value for a? We want to go from some value on the left to some value on the right, and they're the same values. That's negative a, that's positive a. We're not allowed to have a turning point in that area because you can't, otherwise the inverse function won't exist. Now, just a little bit about this. It's a cyclic curve. It's a sine curve. If I look at this function before we transform it, it's got a period of 2 pi. It goes up to 2, an amplitude of 2. And it's got a period of 2 pi over b, which is 2 pi over 2. And it would have a period of 2 of just pi. Okay. So it would go up to -2, down to -2, and then back to pi. And it would do the same thing on the other side, negative pi. And this value there is pi over 4. This value there is pi over 2. And this value there is 3 pi over 4 because it's split up into 4 parts. That's negative pi over 4. That's negative pi over 2. That's negative pi over negative 3 pi over 4. And negative pi. Now we're going to transform this. It would slide, translate. It would slide by pi over 6 to the right, right? And that's if we were to translate this graph into this function here, we have to take this point here and this point here. Because they're turning points, we have to follow the turning points because we cannot have a turning point in our domain for the inverse function to exist. Now we're going to slide this across by pi over 6, and this is going to slide across by pi over 6. So our turning points are going to become negative equals negative 6 pi 4 pi over 24, negative pi over 12, negative 2 pi over 24. So that would become, that would move over to here. And this would also move over pi over 6. This would move over to pi over 6. That would be pi over 6. And we get this function here. All right, now we're ready to look. And because we cannot have a turning point in the inverse, we cannot have negative pi over 12 as part of it. So anywhere between negative pi over 12 and positive pi over 12, then we're okay. Because we don't have any turning points in that area. We have this graph here can be inversed, and it would then reflect in the y equals x line, and you would get an inverse function. So a equals pi over 12, because negative pi over 12 to positive pi over 12 will be possible to have an inverse function. Remember, you cannot have a turning point, and that results in having an inverse function. The inverse function must be part of the graph that has no turning points. I hope this has helped.